Hello, my name is Vishwaswanga and I am part of the data research team, and this is my week 7 analysis of trading cards and what are the best trading cards to buy and sell. This is not for any financial advice, this is just based on my research and my intuition what are the best cards to buy and sell for profit. To start off, I will go over the 5 best cards from One Piece that I would believe to be the best cards to sell and sell off for profit. So I'll get right into it.
I bid you welcome to Impel Down level 5.5, bitches!
The first card that I would propose to sell is this Emporio Ivankov card, which is from the starter deck 12. The serial number for this is ST12-010. This is currently at a market price of over $10, and for a card that's usually under $4 in the past, this is a big spike in price, and to sell now would be for profits. Some of the reasons why this card has such a hefty price right now is because this is one of the more popular cards in One Piece, and not only that, but this comes from the starter deck 12, and this is one of the more expensive starter decks, so that can attribute to why the price of this is currently going high. And also this card is also part of some meta deck list right now for blue decks. So for blue leaders, this is a card that has been in multiple decks, and those are some of the reasons just to say why this card is going high in price. But this card has not been at a price of $10 previously, at least especially in like the past few days. So for those reasons, I think this is a card that can be sold for profit, and this is also part of the second rotation, so there will be many fluctuations coming to this price, so it's best to sell right now when the time is there before it goes down. The next card that I would propose is this Electrical Luna card, which is from the OP08 set, and this is an event card which has a current market price of $8, and it has rose recently in the past few days and months. This is a rare card, but this is also one of the harder cards to pull, and also just like the previous card, this is also part of the second rotation. This is a rare card, and for it to have a price of $8 definitely would indicate that it's best to sell this card right now before it fluctuates in price and possibly goes down. This is a card that has been part of different meta decks for the green color for leaders like Monkey D. Luffy and Dracula that have been in the meta deck list for some time now, and while this card is currently at a price of $8, it's best to sell now before it goes down in price. And also for an event card to be at such a price would definitely indicate that it's best to sell now before it goes under like $4 or even $1.
Oh, 俺たちを超えるか。じゃあ、この帽子をお前に預ける。俺の大切な帽子だ。
The next card is the Shanks card from the OP12 set, OP12008, which is also an alternate art card. Alternate art cards usually have demand among the collectors, so I think this card wouldn't be too hard to sell right now. But other than that, the current market price of this card has increased to more than $18. And while that's not much, this is a card that hasn't been at that price. It has been fluctuating at around $10, and for a sudden spike to $18 would make this card an ideal card to sell. This card contains different block and other features that make this card useful for players as well, so this is a card that will definitely be helpful for the collectors and players as well, so it would be best to sell right now from an investor standpoint. I do think that this card will go down and fluctuate, so for those reasons it's best to sell it off right now before it goes back down in price. Next, I have the Gum Gum Championship Rifle card, which is from the EB01 booster set. So this is an event card that has a rare as its rarity, and it's also part of the second rotation. So this card will definitely, we don't know how this card will fare in a year, but I do think that this card will go down because right now the current market price has rose to $10, and less than 3 months ago it was underneath $1, so there's a high chance of this card dropping in the coming years. This is right now it's been pretty apparent in the decklist right now, and it's currently in rotation. So while it's in rotation, it's best to sell right now for better profits before the card goes back down. Also, this is an event card, so for an event card to be $9, I think it's a clear indication to be sold right now. Finally, for the last card that I would propose for selling, I have this Grand Death card, which is from the OP14 set, and this is also an event card, but the market price I think looks to rise even more, and right now it's currently at $5. But I do think that this card will eventually come in and out of the rotations and for later times, and also this is part of the fourth rotation, but while it does have time, I think it's best to capitalize right now when the card is around $5. Some of the reasons I believe it's such a cheap price is because this is part of one of the OP15, but this card has dropped in price and it has come back up, but that's one reason, and because of the world cards type, I think it has a little bit more demand right now, and those are some of the factors that we can use to say why the card is currently at $5. This is also an event card as well, so I think, for an event card to rise in price all the way to $5 is definitely ideal for selling right now. Moving on, I came up with a list of 5 cards that would be best to buy, and for some of these are some pretty new cards from the OP15 set, so it's really not that easy to gauge how they might do in the future, but this is just based on some of the factors that I researched that I thought would be best to buy right now, and will also be the safest. The first card I have is this Alvida, which is from the OP15 set, and it's an alternate art card. The market price has dropped to $7, and for an alternate art card to be $7, I think it shows a signal that it's best to buy right now before the card rises back in price. This is part of the fourth rotation, and it has time to increase in price later on from the current $7. Reasons why this card has fell down to $7 is because of the post-release drop, and this card will definitely have, because it's part of the OP15, it has gone down in price. But I think alternate art cards definitely has the main demand among the collectors. And this card is a very playable card for the red deck as well, with a lot of different features and attributes. So for those reasons, I think the card will eventually increase later on. And yeah, obviously this card has among collectors and players as well, so that I think this card is best. The next card that I would propose is this Jin card, which is from the OP15 set again. And seeing as previous, this card has gone down because of the post-release drop, and just, that the supply right now is there, so obviously it's a little bit less at 47. This is a super rare card, and it has different features like on-play effects and texture that would definitely be useful among players, and also people that play the red deck as well. Other than that I can see that this card increases from what it is right now, from 40 cents, which I believe is a very affordable price, and this is part of the fourth rotation like I said before, so I can see this, if this card gets is part of some other meta deck list, it will definitely increase from the price it is right now. The next card that I would present is the Usopp, which is again from the OP15 set, and like I said, a lot of these are relatively new cards, but this market price is around 17 cents, so I think it's a relatively safe pick to buy right now and see how it fares in the future. Obviously the price dropped because it's, not only is it out of the rotation right now, and it might be out of the rotation for some time, but it's part of the OP15, and obviously the post-release drop has occurred. But I think that this card will increase in the future. It's part of the fourth rotation as well, so I can see this card going higher than the 17 cents it is, especially if some other factors play out as well. So this is one of the cards that I have thought that would be best. Again from the OP15 set. Current market price is under $1, so it's relatively safe pick to buy right now. It's also not part of the current meta, but I can see this card definitely being part of the meta because it's a black, the color is black, and also Monkey D. Luffy, so I think that just from the popularity of Monkey D. Luffy, this card will increase in price later on. This card has different effects and counters that will make it desirable among the players for sure, is what I think, but obviously the other thing is the OPCG card sort of hard to come by, so I can see prices eventually of this set increasing, and definitely if it comes into rotation, it will definitely be in rotation for the next 2-3 years. So for those reasons, I think this card would be something to buy right now, and it'll be relatively safe as well. Finally, for the last card I have this Nakama, which is an event card. This card is part of the fourth rotation, so there will definitely be time for this card to increase, and I think it will definitely increase to more than 20 cents. Which is the market value right now. It has gone down because of the newly released overhyped, but obviously this card is high as a card right now, and the price is pretty low, but I have seen this card used in a lot of decks with yellow field leader and other leaders that are yellow color as well. This card seems to be very desirable among the, I would say, the effects for on-play, especially for players like use, and I think it's a low risk card right now, and it's hard to go wrong with it. So it's best to buy right now. And that is it for this week. These are just some of the cards that I thought would be best from an investor standpoint to buy and sell.